The ANC's January 8 statement.
It's a long, long way that we have walked from 1912 to 2016. The ANC has had several celebrations. Every year the president addresses the people of South Africa, what we call the nation, but the people of South Africa, on the statement made by the National Executive Committee. So the president actually addresses the people of South Africa on behalf of the African National Congress, but in particular on behalf of the National Executive Committee. In other words, in this statement, the president talks to the people of South Africa on issues that have been tackled over the last year or so by the African National Congress. It talks to the people of South Africa on matters on which the African National Congress has achieved success, but it also talks on behalf on issues where the ANC has not been able to achieve, so that it's a balanced sort of statement, our achievements and where we have not been successful. But what is important, Sophie, is that we acknowledge where we have made mistakes. I think that's the strength of the ANC. Where we have made mistakes, we acknowledge them and say, here we made mistakes and we have got to correct that. And where we have been successful, where we have been successful in achieving what the ANC stands for, we have also pointed out that to the people of South Africa.
Andrew Mlangeni, looking at the theme, it's about celebrating OR Tambo, but the unity within the ANC. Last year, there were lots of tensions within the ANC and the tripartite alliance. As the veteran of the ANC, how can the ANC ensure that it's united?
Every organization has its ups and downs. We have had our ups and downs, especially in the last few years, where everybody wants to be in the leadership of the African National Congress. People in different structures, on different levels of the ANC, everybody wants to be a leader. And once you have not been elected as a leader, people have went out to go and form their own smaller organizations, if you may call it that way. And by doing so, they have led those actions of forming smaller groups have led to the division of the African National Congress members. Members became divided from top to bottom because everybody wants to become a leader. And that type of a thing has become very, very dangerous to the organization. The organization was divided, and it is still divided to some extent even now. And we are working very, very hard in trying to bring about unity. What is important and we should remember is that if the membership of the African National Congress is not united, we cannot lead South Africa. We have got to be united. We have got to work together as the ANC, forget our differences, but for the sake of the country, for the sake of the organization, but in particular for the sake of the country, members of the African National Congress must be united, work together, And in that way, we can be able to lead South Africa successfully.
And finally, Mtate, the integrity committee that you are part of, people have said you didn't do your work. That is why there has been these problems. You were not able to hold leaders, particularly senior leaders, to account.
Well, there will always be criticisms of everything. If you don't do your work, if you don't work, you cannot make mistakes. Mistakes are made by people who work. People have always said the Integrity Commission, of which I'm the chairperson, has not done enough. We cannot just, pick up anything and try to find out what that thing is. We have got to wait for matters to be reported to the Integrity Commission. And then on the basis of that, we then investigate. We don't just investigate anything we read about in the media. No, that's not how we work. Reports have got to be made, and also reports from the media. If there is a constant report on something, on somebody, we then call that person to come and account, explain to us. How do you explain? How do you account for these statements that are being made against you in the media? We don't just pick up anything.
Thank you,
but we wait for reports to be made to us, and then on the basis of those reports and what we read about in the media, we then take up the matter.
Meanwhile, the ANC Women's League last night endorsed Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma as their candidate for the presidency of the governing party. The Women's League has also put forward the names of 5 other women leaders to be considered for the other 5 positions in the ANC's top leadership structure. Speaking earlier from Orlando Stadium, ANC Women's League President Batabile Dlamini explained their decision.
Her experience, commitment to the struggle speaks for itself. She's not a newcomer in the struggle for the ANC. She is the leader of the ANC in her own right. We have Nosiviwe, we have Chelsea, we have Nomvula, we have Maite, we have Lindiwe Sisulu. Women said we must go as the ANC Women's League, look at the issues of experience, look at people that will support Comrade Nkosazana, because we don't want to say that we want a woman president and leave that woman president surrounded by men and therefore not being